basic skill in wrestling is penetration. I have to be able to get to my opponent. And you've got to keep in mind when I do this, when I penetrate, I stay in good position. Before I can ever penetrate, I have to change levels, I have to have motion, and when I do this, I have to stay in good position. If I don't stay in good position, it gives my opponent an opportunity to score. Actually, there's three types of penetrations. One, there's a drop step or a step in. I call those two penetrations the same. And anytime I penetrate in those two situations, I'm going to use what I call an inside step. And the reason I do that is very simple. If my opponent is stationary or moving away from me, I have to take my body to him. So I have to be able to travel. And when I do that, I'm going to pound, step, and now I'm going to drive over my knee, staying in good position the whole time, but I'm going to act like there's glass on the mat. I want a reaction like there's glass on the mat, right here. And as soon as this knee touches the mat, it's going to come up. Now, as soon as I drive off of this back leg, it's done all the work it's going to do. The next part of the work for this leg is to be up here so I can cut an angle. It immediately comes up, and I'm across here. All right? So my inside step is a pound, step. When I drive over, it's going to hit broken glass on the mat. It wants to come up immediately, and this trail leg comes up immediately in this position. Don't stay down there. Always try to come up. So the first step is an inside step, keeping in mind that my opponent is stationary or he's moving away from me, and I have to get to him. So pound, step, drive, leg comes up immediately, and I'm in good position again. Watch what I do with my opponent here. When I do this, and I do an inside step, actually, there's 5 places on my opponent that I could step to. I could step here, 4 to 5 inches to the outside, 4 to 5 inches to the inside, directly in the middle, 4 to 5 inches here, or 4 or 5 inches here. Those are the only places that I should really step to on my attack. I don't want to step too far. I want to step about toe to toe. But those are the 5 areas that I can attack with my penetration. When I talk about an inside step, what I'm going to do is step to my opponent, and I can pound, step, and drive, or I can just step in. I can just step in. Some wrestlers don't like to pound, step, and drive. They feel like they're giving themselves away to their opponent. So they use what they call a step in. But the steps are still the same. All right? So you have to keep in mind that I'm going to inside step here. Okay, on this penetration step, where I'm using an inside step, I'm going to step to my opponent, and it's very important for me to start to get an angle on my opponent. Remember, if he's stationary or moving away from me, I have to get to him. All right? So from this position, I'm going to pound, step, toe-to-toe, knee drives, and now I'm going to follow up here into this position. The best place to finish is up on your feet. It's going to make it easier for me to score there. So that's what I want to drill. When I drill that position, I want to be able to go through and up to my feet and be in good position right away. If my partner is backing up a little bit and I go to him, I have to travel to here. If he continues to back up, I still come up into good position here. So when I'm in good position.
Here's an example of an inside penetration step on this double leg takedown. Again at normal speed. Here's another example with world and Olympic champion Kevin Jackson of the United States. As he changes to a right leg forward staggered stance, he drops in on this inside penetration step for his double leg. As he comes back up, he immediately has to drive forward again to pursue his opponent for the takedown. Again at normal speed.
The second type of penetration step is an outside step. Keep in mind, for me to use an outside step, my opponent has to be coming towards me or leaning on me. And here's the reason I don't use an outside step for all my techniques. If he's stationary or moving back, and say I'm in a double bicep tie-up right here, and I wanted to hit a duck under or maybe a high crotch, and I tried to outside step here. From this position right here, if he were to continue to move away and snap me down, I'll end up in this position. That's not good position. As you can see, it makes it real easy for him to post me. But watch what happens if I push on him a little bit and I get him to lean into me, and I hit my duck under. If I'm pushing on him and he's leaning at all, when I outside step here, his momentum, his penetration actually comes to me. And that's the motion that I have to have. If he's stationary and moving away, I inside step because I have to get to him. But if I'm in a square stance and I want to use an outside step, I have to have motion into me. He's either got to be pushing into me or he's got to be leaning on me. Again, if I outside step and he's moving away from me, this is the situation that occurs. Wrestler gets out of position, he's easily snapped down and easily scored on. So when you teach your wrestlers these two basic skills, remember, on the penetration, you pound, step, drive, that's an inside step. But if I want to use an outside step, which is a great step, make sure that your opponent's coming into you.
World champion and Olympic medalist Chris Campbell uses an outside step to set up his head inside single. Again at normal speed. From elbow control, with his opponent moving into him as he begins to lean, Chris uses an outside step to set up this duck under. Again at normal speed. Here we see a single again set up with an outside step. Again at normal speed.